Just as a quick little thing, I know this is only a second video, but I often redo the videos over and over and over because I can't speak. So I'm going to try to get this done in one run, make it sound really good, because we're working on the exact same thing. We're just adding on to what we already started. We're going to be able to calculate a paycheck. This will be done through a real-world job searching activity and paycheck project. Same objective as I said. We're going to be working on this for 2-3 weeks, maybe more, maybe less, however long it takes you to figure out how to calculate a paycheck. So how to calculate a paycheck? Well, we're not actually going to be doing the math part today, because before you can calculate a paycheck, you got to find a job, because no one's going to pay you for just sitting on the couch. So this first part is going to be finding the job. No math's going to be involved today. Well, you're going to have to find numbers on the pages, but it's not like I have to calculate blah, 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 calculator, number, decimal percentage. No, none of that today. Just finding a job. So some things we're going to be going over is what I expect you guys to look for is you're going to have to look in your area. There's no point in searching for a job that you can't get to. Like, don't search in Canada, Alaska, Mexico, whatever, unless you're planning on moving there, but we can talk about that later. But we're going to find local jobs, because you'll actually cost less, because you're going to be traveling less gas car maintenance. You won't be in your car driving in traffic. We're going to search how to see if you're qualified for the job. So if we should even be researching this. Next, you're going to be looking up pay and benefits. So you have to know the pay in order to get your paycheck, and then we got to look up the benefits. That's extra stuff the company gives you as incentive to working for them, but not everything will be on there. So we'll get to that in a minute. But let's look in your job area. So what I did is I went to Monster.com. If you want to, you can go to Indeed, you can go to other job searches, but I just went to Monster and I typed in Buckeye. So I went to Buckeye and a whole bunch of stuff came up. Well, why are we using Buckeye? Can I use anything? Because I don't really like the jobs in Buckeye. I'd rather work in Goodyear or, well, I would prefer you use stuff from 0 to 30 miles away from your YHS, and I'll give you some locations you can use in a minute. If you have to, say there's a really good job you would like to use as an example, if it's 30.1 to 40 miles from Yonkers, you can use that. I prefer you not to. And nothing over 40 miles, you guys, because that's a lot of gas. You'll find out later when we're talking about how much gas is. But so here's some examples. Like, well, I'm going to go work in Tonopah. It's actually less miles to drive to Goodyear, which is 16 miles, than Tonopah, which is 21. Those mid-range cities that I was talking about, you'll probably see a lot of jobs in Phoenix. That's why I'm not saying you can't use it. I prefer you use something like even Glendale's a little bit closer, but more like Tolson's a lot closer. Don't use like Tempe, Chandler, Gilbert. If you're driving 50 miles each way, that's like 2 gallons of gas, 4 miles a gallon. That's like $10 just to get to and from work. But let's go back to Buckeye. So I typed Buckeye into Monster. Lots of results came up. There were like hundreds of pages. So let's click through some of the pages, and if you notice there's a few jobs on here. This is exactly what I would pull up, or what you guys might pull up. The website might change between now and then, but notice some will say part-time. If you want to, you can use the part-time jobs. We're going to be doing both full and part-time jobs when we're searching the jobs and calculating our paychecks, but I'm going to use this one as our first example. Retail general manager, retail assistant manager. So this is the job we're going to be doing. So let's see if we're qualified. So when we're looking up the qualifications for this job, we're going to see, should this be a job that I should be using? Because if you see this job that requires you have a 5-year degree, no, that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at, as soon as you graduate from high school, could you apply for a job and how much would you be making? So when we're going for those job qualifications, I first see that this is in Phoenix. Well, Mr. Beuthin, that doesn't make any sense. I saw you had Buckeye. But if you notice over there it says Phoenix, that's because this does local jobs around you. So when you type in Buckeye, it's going to do any jobs in the area. So make sure you pay attention to that. So when you're reading through some of this, it says conduct meetings with employees. Have you ever conducted a meeting? Well, that's kind of a red flag. That's probably someone old or something. Maybe I shouldn't be using this because I've clearly never done a meeting, so this probably wasn't what I was thinking it was. Okay, well, interviewing, hiring, training standpoint? What? Okay, again, red flags, probably not a job you should be applying for, because I don't know if you guys have done interviewing. I've done a little bit, but okay, well, let's see this next one. Nights, days, weekends, and holidays. Well, clearly you can't work days. Well, we're assuming everything's after you graduate, but let's see this next one. Minimum of 2 to 3. Oh, I can't do this. Well, you guys can't, because I want you to find a job like right after you graduate high school or during high school you can use. You don't have 2-3 years experience in, what does it talk about, high volume retail with a P&L account? I don't even know what that is, so that's probably not something you can apply for, but you might have to look outside of Buckeye. So all those states, cities I gave you, if you want to, you can go back and use those as examples when you're searching for your job, but let's type in Goodyear. I found this machine operator job. It's over in Tolson. So this one's a little bit up your guys' salary, and you're going to find out why I'm in it. This is something you can probably apply for, because when we're searching through this job search, we'll see over here that they talk about that you need to have a clean work area at all times, other duties and assignments, so not a lot really. They even give your pay, which we need to have that because we're going to be talking about paychecks, but it's $11 to $13 an hour. You have to have basic math skills. You guys have that. Legible handwriting. Read labels and numbers. Well, this sounds like a job that you can do. Doesn't talk about really in here that you have to have a college degree. So I think you might be okay to apply for this job. So this is a good example of when we're looking for that pay and benefits for our activity. This says $11 to $13 an hour. So when we're putting into the worksheet, there's your pay right over there. It took me going through 10 or 20 articles just to find one with pay. So you're talking about pay. Benefits. Well, what do I wear benefits? Well, when we're doing those benefits, I don't see anything about here like that when you're 401k. If they don't have it, don't worry. That pay thing that I had circled is the bigger one because that's what we need to learn about our paychecks. But it's good to know what benefits a company does offer. But the big thing we're looking for is that first part, pay. Benefits, if it has it, awesome. If it doesn't, it's not going to really hurt you. So this next part over here, let's wait a second for it to catch up to me. But again, we have over here, what can you do to prepare for the next class? What's next? Okay, well, hopefully you're just using this as a review and you were in class today. If you weren't in class today, you're going to have to start looking up some of these jobs. Get a few. You got to have the name of the job, where you found the job, how much the pay is, the location of where it is, the city, and if there's any benefits, there might not be it. If you don't have all of them, it's okay. The students in class today probably got maybe one done. If you got more of them done, awesome. If you got less done, we're just trying to get it prepared so when we get to the paycheck, you have enough jobs. So to recap, as I said, we're going to start working on how much money is taken out of our paycheck, but before we get to that paycheck point, we have to actually find a job. So today we're finding the jobs. You have to have pay in it. Benefits, everything else. Okay, the big thing is I found a job. I can apply for this job. It's not like a rocket astrophysicist. No, this is a normal job after high school I can have, or maybe during high school. Let's calculate the paycheck. So find a job that you can have right now or soon, and let's get the paycheck for it. So it's not too much for you guys. This is going to be the last activity video without lots of numbers in it. So, but again, let's finish with the objective. The student will be able to calculate a paycheck. This will be done through a real-world job searching activity and paycheck project. So, thank you again, guys, for watching the video. This is the last video we're going to have without a lot of big numbers in it when we're actually calculating the paychecks, the percentage and stuff. So, take some time, do this part of the activity, and I'll see you guys in class tomorrow.